Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Marco with Luso Overland, and this is the 2004 Mitsubishi Montero Limited that is available on bringatrailer.com. This video is going to help supplement the auction listing, and we're going to do a cold start, we're going to do some driving. I'll go through and show you all the imperfections on this vehicle. So you know exactly what you're getting with this vehicle when you place your bid. So it's been sitting for 3-4 days, hasn't moved. It's been below freezing at night. So this is gonna be a perfect cold start. So let's go do that first. All right, here we go. There she is. Runs like a dream. All right, I just moved the vehicle into the shade because the morning sun was just too blinding. So this 2004 Montero Limited is the cleanest Montero that I've ever come across. It was a California and Arizona car for its entire life. It was in one family in Scottsdale, Arizona for almost its entire life, other than the year that I've owned it and the first few months of its life when it was in Los Angeles. It was with that one family in Scottsdale, and they just took amazing care of it. Always had oil changes and filters done on time, religiously, every 3,000 miles. And when we got the engine open to do the timing belt and valve cover gaskets and spark plugs, all that stuff, it was just unbelievable how clean the inside of that engine was. We've never seen anything like it, and you can see the photos in the listing. And so I'm going to go around, I'm going to show you all the imperfections that I've been able to find in this car that keep it from being like 100% perfect. I'm saying that the exterior is a 9 out of 10 and the interior is a 9 out of 10. So this won't take very long because there's not very many things that aren't absolutely perfect. So let's start on the exterior. This is the driver's side front. You can see that there is this scuff, and it looks like, yeah, it's got some touch-up paint on it, just on those little scuffs. So there's that. And then if we keep coming around, let's see, there is a dent. There's one dent in this vehicle. It's right here. It's really hard to see because it's on, there it is, you can kind of see it there. It's on the same crease as the body line, right about there, just below it. It's about the size of, let's say, about 1/4 in surface area, and it dips in maybe 2 millimeters. It's very small, it's very hard to see. You can't really see it unless you're at the right angle because of it being right along that fold of the body line. So there's that. Come around, same thing on the rear bumper. There's a scuff, it's lower down. You can see that. If you come up here, the emblem, this is real common on the Gen 3. They're all like this now. The chrome has flaked off of the Montero emblems. But we do know of a company that we work with that's going to be coming out with replacement of that. So same thing with the limited badge. You can see there's some flaking of the chrome right there. The spare tire cover, the original push pins that were in here were all just dry rotted and everything, so we replaced them with zip ties to hold this cover on. But you're going to be putting bigger tires on this thing anyways, and that plastic cover is not going to fit anymore, so no big deal there. This side, Doesn't have anything. Things looking good on this side. And then on the front, you know, it's got 104,000 miles of being on the road, and so you can see there's like little tiny chips in the paint on this kind of front brow line here, as well as here's like one on the grill. But again, these things are, you know, tiny. We're talking about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters in size from 3 feet back. It looks fantastic. So the clear coat is unbelievable on this thing. The whole time we've owned this car, it's been named Sparkles. It was named by my 3-year-old daughter because the white metallic on this thing just shines so beautifully. Right now I'm in the shade, so I don't know if it'll come through. I'll get it back out in the sun, we can see that metallic, but the clear coat on this is just absolutely gorgeous. It was garage kept for its life in Scottsdale, and seldom driven, and so the clear coat is just amazing. You can see the headlights, they're not yellowed over. Yeah, just gorgeous. So that takes care of the exterior. Let's do the interior real quick. So imperfections on the interior. Well, the floor mats, you can see they have use. I shampooed them, but you can still see they have use on them. But the fact that it even has the original floor mats after all these years is pretty amazing. The biggest fault in the interior is this rip in the driver's seat on the side. Now, any automotive detail, like mobile detail guy, can patch that, and to where you'd never see it again. This is super common on Gen 3 Monteros because there's a piece of metal right there. See that? So as this compresses thousands of times from people sitting on it, it cuts into the leather. So that's super common, that it has this cut on the left, on the side, but there's nothing on the top. And that's also super common on Gen 3 Monteros. They almost always tear along one of these seams, but this one is good. I just treated all the leather in this vehicle last week with leather cleaner and a leather rejuvenator. So you can see it's still soft and supple. Again, being garage kept in Arizona, it would, you know, that's the only way that this happens. If it was parked outside, this would have been all dried and cracked by now. Okay, let's see what else. This passenger side seat, you can see it's got a scratch in the leather, not a tear, it's not ripped, it's just a scratch. If you put some like black leather dye on that, you won't be able to see it anymore. This side's got some interesting like little white, very tiny, this is all very tiny stuff, like white little dots there. I'm not sure what that is. And then on the top glove box, you can see like some little faint scratch lines here. My guess is they had like a little tiny dog at some point in here that was trying to look out the windshield, is what that looks like. So that is everything. Steering wheel, I don't know if this is wear or just dirt that would come off with the cleaning. I'm not sure, with a deeper cleaning, but a little tiny bit there and there. So that's that. And then in the rear, this rear floor mat has a little bit of staining right here. I think with one more shampoo that would all come out, but again, the original floor mat is actually in pretty phenomenal shape. And that's it. That's all the flaws on this vehicle. Like, and I'm really stretching to find stuff here. Mechanically, this thing is 100% sound. We have done everything on it. There's a full maintenance log in the auction. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. But timing belt job with all OEM parts, spark plugs, valve cover gaskets, exhaust manifolds, every single fluid on this vehicle has been changed. And you know, with premium stuff like whether it's Mitsubishi or Redline oils in the diffs, you know, for example, on the transmission service, we didn't just do like a drain and fill 3 quarts, we did a full transmission fluid exchange, which is about 10.5 quarts of Mitsubishi SP3. And we did that the proper way through the FSM procedure, not with like a Jiffy Lube type setup where they suck the fluid out, because that can damage transmissions. So anyways, this vehicle, it's good to go. It's not going to need anything for 60,000 miles until its next timing belt job other than oil changes. It is just immaculate. Everyone who crawls under this car, who works on this car, comments on how, you know, flawless it is and how it's like a time machine and how bolts don't fight you, and it's just a joy to work on. Every single thing on this vehicle works. It's not like, oh, it works if you jimmy it, it works if you wiggle it, it works when it's warm only, you know what it's called? No, this vehicle is 100% working condition. Everything, every little outlet, every little, like the side, even the running board lights, every single light bulb, every single switch, heated seats, the CD changer, every button on the radio, the climate control, the factory display, everything down here, the rear air, the traction control off, the cigarette lighter, every single thing in this vehicle works. The sunroof button, we've gone through everything. Oh, I just thought of one other small downside. This vehicle comes with like the original owner's manual and just a lot of paperwork, but I only got one key and one fob, so they're not that expensive to have done though, but just want to put that out there. I only have this one key set for it. Here's a better look at the wheels. As you can see, they're in really nice shape. They're not perfect. If we get super close, you can see, I don't think this is just dirt though. This is just some deeper dirt that hasn't come out from a cleaning, but I mean, that's like microscopic stuff. So wheels are in phenomenal shape. Tires have good tread. I don't have my tire tread gauge with me. It looks about like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 7. I'll have to put a gauge on it later, but yeah, tires are in good shape. And there's the new standard height, standard load level springs that we put on there. And yeah, so it rides great. But if you want to switch it out because you want to put a lift on it, like I hope you do, we're going to work with you on that to make it cheaper and easier. Underneath the rear now, and you can see there's the new springs, of course. And what I should point out is we have had this vehicle aligned since putting in the springs, and why that's important, other than of course saving your tires from prematurely wearing out, is because Gen 3 Monteros are notorious for seized alignment bolts. So that's where these bolts right here rust to the inner sleeves of the bushings, and then you can't get an alignment. It's a big job. You have to cut these bolts out. There's 4 of those bolts on the rear end, there's 4 of them on the front end, and as you would expect with a vehicle from California and Arizona that has been this well looked after, those bolts were not seized. They spin freely. The alignment was no problem at all, so no worries there. I'll just go through real quick and kind of point out some of the bigger things that we've done maintenance-wise. All of this, again, is in the maintenance spreadsheet on the vehicle, and I won't remember all of it off the top of my head. But like every single piece of rubber on this vehicle, we've treated with like a seal conditioner. Just keep everything looking really good because it deserves it. And under the hood, what else? Like I said, every single fluid. Spark plugs, all the gaskets associated with doing that job, wires, the spark plug tube seals, valve cover gaskets, oil cap gasket, what else? The four-wheel drive, the front diff actuator solenoids, the, let's see, coolant hoses, coolant, thermostat, radiator cap, so full cooling system service, timing belt job with yeah, all OEM parts. Same thing with the spark plugs, NGK, iridiums. There's your timing belt sticker right there. You can see we did it on 12, 16, 21. And the timing belt job was done, I should mention this, was done by Ernest Paddock, who is master mechanic when it comes to Monteros. He is the #1 best Montero mechanic in probably the entire Southwest. I mean, I know there's some really good guys in the California area, so like, you know, Los Angeles area. So Southern California, Arizona, Nevada, this guy is the #1. He has done more work on Monteros than probably anyone else, knows them inside and out, and he's my go-to guy for maintenance. So a lot of you know him. He did the maintenance on the timing belt jog, the spark plugs, all the big stuff under here. We have 2 brand new exhaust manifolds, driver side and passenger side. And then, you know, things that, unless you're a Gen 3 enthusiast, you may not realize, because these are, you know, kind of unique vehicles. You take them to a normal mechanic and shop, they're not always going to know what to do. One of those issues that these suffer from is, at this point in time, the variable intake runners, the butterfly valves. You may hear guys talk about that. It's that let's see, it's that yellow round piece of plastic. That's the front bushing, is the front of that system, and you'll often get an air leak right there, which this one had, and so we replaced the O-ring at the front of that system to solve that air leak. So now the entire vacuum system on this is perfect, no leaks whatsoever, which is going to make sure you get maximum MPGs and performance out of this vehicle. It's running like the day it came off the showroom floor. It is just flawless. I can't tell you guys how nice it is. Yeah, definitely a little bittersweet to be letting it go, but every dollar that comes from this vehicle is going to go into us bringing in some new lines of Montero parts, some new suppliers that we're working with. So we're turning it right around and taking the funds from this vehicle to bring in more aftermarket support to Montero owners, the Montero community in the United States. That's what we're doing here. So we've got the 3rd row under there. We've got 3rd row headrests right there. So that's really all I have to say in terms of pointing out all of the tiny imperfections that I can. There's really nothing left to do than get in this thing. The forest is right there, so let's go there and let's put in all the 4-wheel drive modes so you can see that those work. There's my 2005, which is, you know, my primary like off-road vehicle and camping vehicle and all that. Just give you an idea of how you could build this thing, and that's my hope. That's what I would love to see for this 2004, for someone to buy it with the intention of building it up into an Overlander. And we're offering some incentives to do that. The winning bidder is going to get 20% off everything at LusoOverland.com for 1 full year. So for, you know, new shocks, if you want to get TRE diff lockers, if you want to get armor, skid plates, whatever you need, it's going to be 20% off. It's going to save a lot on your build. Also, this 2004 has brand new level springs, but they're like standard height, standard low. They're OEM replications. And if you wanted to put a lift on it and go raised height springs, then we're going to work with you to give you a big discount on some raised height springs. I believe, I can't remember exactly what we decided and put in the listing. I think it was 40%. You'll get 40% off of your choice of raised height level springs, which I think is about $200 off. And we'll ship those to you for free. And we'll also pay to get these 4 springs that are currently installed on the vehicle, the standard height ones. We'll pay to get those back. So makes it really affordable. It's going to be like, I think it's like $250 or something like that is what it works out to get the 4 raised height coils. But anyways, just want to stop as I was driving by and show you my 2005, and it definitely crossed my mind, maybe I should keep the 2004 because it has 80,000 less miles than the 2005 and just transfer a lot of this stuff over, but just too much work, especially with like the different gears and the differentials and some of that stuff. So onward. All right, so let's take you through the various 4-wheel drive modes that the Gen 3 Montero has. It is like other Monteros, you get everything. There is no sacrificing in traction with this vehicle. So as you can see right now, we're just in drive, we're in two-wheel drive. This is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, so that's why those two lights are lit up. But now, what I'm gonna do, take the transfer case selector and we're gonna move it up to 4H, which is Mitsubishi speak for all-wheel drive. So now you can see the front lights go solid, and that means that all-wheel drive is now engaged. And if we wanna now go into true four-wheel drive, then we can go up one more to 4 high LLC, which stands for 4 high locked. The orange light comes on at the center differential location, and then it goes solid once the system confirms it is locked in. So you can see that's locked in now. We are in true four-wheel drive high with a mechanically locked center differential. And then, you know, this vehicle on the power band is going to be exactly the same as the previous 3 drive modes that we've been in, but it does have 4 low, true four-wheel drive. So we can go up one more. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we're in neutral. Everything that we've done so far is shift on the fly, compatible up to 62 miles an hour. But if we're going to go into 4 low, we need to come to a stop, put it in neutral. Now we can go up to 4 low. And then you can see on the display, the 4L light goes solid. And now, once that's done, we can go back into drive. This will also come on, the traction control light off when you go to 4 low. That's how it's supposed to be. And so now we're in 4 low, which is gonna change the power band and give us maximum torque. And yeah, so let's stop here and do that again in reverse. So we're gonna go back to neutral, push down, come out of 4 low, back into 4 high. The light goes off. We're now in 4 high. And actually, we can do all this stuff on the fly from here. So I'll just go back to drive and we're driving along, and then I can just shift down into all-wheel drive. And you can see the center differential turns off. Sorry, I'm trying to film this with one hand. And now we're in all-wheel drive, which is cool. You can be in all-wheel drive, you know, full-time. You can drive like this 24/7, not just on dirt, but on normal roads. And it is going to apply power to where it needs it when it senses wheel slip. And yeah, so let me just turn around here, and then we'll shift it out of all-wheel drive, and I'll just do that on the road actually. Yeah, some pretty big whoops in the road here, but brand new level springs. Take it no problem. And the rear shocks were recently replaced with the KYB XLGs, which were the OEM shock on this vehicle from the factory, so they ride real nice. Okay, so so we're back on the street in all-wheel drive. Alrighty, now we can just shift into two-wheel drive. You'll see the lights blink. And then when I let off the gas there for a little bit, that's when the system released the actuator in the front diff and then confirmed that it was out, and just the rear wheel drive lights are now solid. So yeah, that's it guys. Just an amazingly beautiful, clean vehicle, the perfect candidate to build into your overlanding vehicle. Again, this is Marco with Luso Overland. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.